Okay, you only have one packet here. Sheet to go with it. You need to use this sheet when you're solving the problems. Okay, and I want to get credit for this assignment. I need the 6 video problems done and then the 4 on your own. So yeah, it's the only way you get better at it, and don't sit there and boat race ahead if you don't know what you're doing. Okay. Okay, there are no bases in either one of these, so no base means draw the circles and copy the first equation in the square underneath. So here's what I mean by that. Circle the x's, circle the y's together, just really circling the like terms. And now copy that top equation. So what do I have on top? I have 2x plus 4y equals 22. Okay, that's done. Now, get into my steps. Number 1, find the x or y circle with the same number in front of it. When you're finding this, ignore any negatives. Here's my first circle. I believe 2 and 2 are the same number. So write same, S-A-M-E, right there, okay? Now, right off the side what the signs are on that number. So this is where I have the same thing, 2x, 2x. Now, what are the signs on the 2x's? Well, it's positive. So put a plus 2x, and that one's positive too, so plus. Now, read what to do. If one's negative, one's positive, we're good. We don't change anything. We leave it the way it is. But if they're both positive or both negative, you need to switch the numbers in the bottom row to opposite. They're both positive, so I need to switch bottom row to opposite. You don't need to write this every time. You need to just write switch. Okay. Okay, switch bottom row to opposite. So that 2 was positive, but now it's negative. That 2 was negative. Now it's positive. That 8 was negative. Now it's positive. Now you're going to add the top number to the bottom number. If you get 0, don't write anything. Just slash it out. And I'm going to do one better. I'm going to write PLUS plus and PLUS, PLUS, so I know what the heck I'm adding. Okay, so I take 2 plus negative 2. That's 0, so don't write anything. You just slash it out. Now I take positive 4 plus, and the 2's positive now, so I just add 2, and that's 6, so 6y. Take 22 plus 8. 8's now positive, so just 8, and that's 30. Now dot your y and divide. 30 divided by 6 is 5. Now that's y, so y is 5. Now, this is why you wrote that down here, because now you're going to put 5 in for y, so go parenthesize your y, and 5's going to go in for that. So I got to take 5 times the 4 that was there. 4 times 5 is 20, but don't put y, just put 20. And then from there I will plus 2x before I write equals 22. I dot the x. I circle the 2x. I have a 20 that needs to be subtracted. So 2 dot x equals 2, and then divide by 2. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. So x is 1. Okay, next problem. No bases. Draw your circle and copy the first equation, the square underneath. So circle the x's, circle the y's, and circle these. Now copy the top equation underneath. So you got 4x plus negative 7y equals 3. You're just writing the top row, okay? Now, find the x or y circle with the same number in front of it. When you're finding this, ignore any negatives. Got bad news for you. 4 and 1 aren't the same number, okay? 7 and 7 are the same number. So I write same right there, okay? Now, right off the side, what signs are on that number? So I have 7y and 7y. Now, what are their signs? That's negative, and that's negative. Again, do I need to switch or don't I? Well, if one's negative, one's positive, don't change anything, leave it the way it is. If they're both positive or both negative, you're going to have to switch the numbers in the bottom row to the opposite. Well, they look both negative to me, so we are going to have to switch. If they have the same sign, you will have to switch. If they have the opposite signs, you're good, okay? But we have to switch this. So the 1 is positive, now it's negative. This 7 right here, it's negative, well now it's going to be a positive 7. This 15, it's negative, now it's a positive. Okay, now after that's done, you're going to add the top number to the bottom number. If you get 0, don't write anything, slash it out. So I would suggest you write plus, plus, and plus. So plus them. Ain't hard, okay? So 4 plus negative 1 is 3, so 3x. Let's put that beneath there. Negative 7 plus 7 is 0. Slash it out. And then 3 plus 15 is 18, so equals 18. Put your equals before you write 18. Now you dot your 3 and divide. 18 divided by 3 is 6, and that's x. So x is 6. Now to find y, you're going to use the equation you wrote. The 6 is going in for x, and I will be taking it times 4. So 4 times 6 is 24. Remember, don't put x on that. X has been replaced with 6. So plus negative 7y equals 3. Now dot your negative 7y, circle it. Minus 24, minus 24. So negative 7.y equals negative 21. 3 minus 24 is negative 21. Now I can divide. So, negative 21 divided by negative 7 is 3. Next problem. No base. Get your circles drawn. And write the top equation. That comes in handy when I have to get my other answer, the second one. 3x plus 3y equals 27. All right, now find the x or y circle with the same number. Doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, as long as it's the same number, we can deal with it. 3 and 1 ain't the same number, okay? 3 and 3 are the same number, so this is where I have the same kind of thing, okay? Same right there. Okay, now, right off the side, what signs are on that number? I have 3y, 3y, that's positive, and that's negative. If one's negative, one's positive, which we have here, don't change anything. Leave it the way it is. So I'm going to write good to go, okay, instead of writing switch, good to go. So I don't need to change the signs, okay? If I have a positive and a negative, don't change it. Now add the top to the bottom, and if you get 0, don't write anything, slash it out. So I'm going to write plus, plus, and plus. So I take 3 plus 1, that's 4x, right beneath it. And then I take 3 plus negative 3, positive 3, plus negative 3 is 0. If it's 0, good, get it out. And then equals before you do it over here. 27 plus negative 11 is 16. So 4 times x equals 16. So dot your 4 and divide by 4. Okay, 16 divided by 4 is 4, and that's x. Okay. So now go down here in the top equation and plug 4 in for x. So I take 4 times 3. That's 12. You can cross that out. You don't need to put x because x has been replaced with 4. Plus 3y equals 27. Now I dot my y, circle it, and then I subtract 12. So 3 dot y equals 15. Then I will divide by 3. 15 divided by 3 is equals 5, and that's y. So the other answer is 5. Next problem. Get them circles. And write down the top equation. Negative 1x plus 5y equals 13. That comes in when I'm ready to find my second answer. It doesn't have much to do with the first. Now, the x's or the y's, one of them should have the same number in front. Well, 1 and 1, and I don't worry about negatives with that. If I ignore negatives, 1 and 1 are the same number. So here's where I have the same. 5 and 1 aren't the same. Okay, so go write what those are in the same circle. 1x, 1x. This is negative. This isn't positive. A negative and a positive is good. That's exactly what I want. So I'm good to go instead of switching it. Okay, so I don't need to switch. So now I write plus, plus, plus. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. Five plus negative 1 is 4. So 4y. And 13 plus 15 is 28. Dot your 4. Underline. Now we divide. So that's 7. 28 divided by 4. So y equals 7. So that's the y. Now into this equation, put 7 in for y. 7 times 5. Okay, 5 times 7, that'd be 35. Plus negative 1x equals 13. Now dot your negative 1x and then get rid of your 35. So I'm minus 35. Minus 35. So negative 1 dot x. 13 minus 35 is negative 22. And then I divide by negative 1. Negative 22 divided by negative 1 is 22. So x equals 22, y equals 7. Next, there's no base equations. Draw the circles, copy the first equation in the square underneath. Copy that first equation. 5x plus negative 1y equals 0. That is used to get the second answer, not the first. Okay, now find the x or y circle with the same number in it. When you're finding this, ignore any negatives. 5 and 3 ain't the same number, not even close. 1 and 1 would be, and when I'm examining this, I'm not really looking for negatives at this point. Okay, I'm just looking for a number that's the same. 5 and 3 ain't the same, 1 and 1 are. So the same is this circle right here. Okay. Now go make a little side box, and I just write 1y, 1y. And write off the side what those signs are on those numbers. The 1 is negative. That 1 is positive. If one's negative, the other's positive, don't change anything, leave it the way it is. But if they're both negative or they're both positive, switch numbers in the bottom row to the opposite sign. Looks like we have a negative and a positive, so that's good to go. So I don't change. I'm not changing the bottom on this problem. So I write plus, because it says add the top number to the bottom number. That means this number to this number. If you get 0, don't write anything, slash it out. Okay, 5 plus 3 is 8x. That's easy math. Now I'm going to take this. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. I got 0. Don't write 0, slash it out. 0 plus 24 is 24. And I can dot my 8 and divide. 24 divided by 8 is 3, and that's x. That's 3. Okay, now to solve for the y variable, you go to this equation, you put 3 in for x. 5 times 3 is 15, encircle that. 5 times 3 is 15, plus negative 1y. Cross it out as soon as you write 15 down. You got to add negative 1y equals 0. Dot your y and circle it. So 15, I minus 15, I minus 15. So negative 1 times y equals negative 15. And then I divide. So negative 15 divided by negative 1 is 15. Last problem before you go work on your own. No base. Draw the circles. Copy the first equation in the square underneath right here. Okay, so 6x plus 5y equals 39. Find the x or y circle with the same number in front of it. When you're finding this, ignore any negatives. 6 and 3 aren't the same number. 5 and 5 are the same number. Write off the side what signs are on that number. You have 5y, 5y. Write those where we have the same. Write them. Now what are their signs? Positive and positive. Well, that's not good. Okay. So you're not good to go. You need to switch. If they are the same, could be either both positive, both negative, you need to switch. So that 3 is going to become a negative. That positive 5 now becomes a negative 5, and that 27 now becomes a negative 27. Now, add the top number to the bottom number. If you get a 0, don't write anything and slash it out. So plus, because I need to get a 0. I do need to get it, okay? So I take 6 plus negative 3. That would be 3x. Then I take 5 plus negative 5, because that 5 is now negative. Got my 0. Slash it out. Don't write 0, though. Don't write anything. Equals. The only time you would write a 0 is if it comes out of this circle. Okay? 39 plus negative 27 is 12. So I dot my 3x. It means 3 times x equals 12, and I divide by 3. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. And that's your x, remember that. The x's didn't go away, okay? Okay, now I'm going to be putting 4 in for x. And I will be timesing 6 by 4. That's 24. Plus 5y equals 39. Now dot your 5 and circle it. Minus 24, minus 24. So 5 dot y, 39 minus 24 is 15. Divide by 5, divide by 5, and y equals 3. Okay, so x is 4, y is 3. Good looking answer.